Welcome to Holmes on Health, the podcast where nutrition, fitness, and hormones meet health span, and science meets real life. I'm Dr. Alan Holmes, a recovering emergency physician turned expert in hormone optimization, metabolic wellness, and living life fully optimized. Each week, we dive into the tools, truths, and evidence-based therapies that help you build a stronger body, sharper mind, and more vibrant life. Whether you're curious, confused, or already optimizing, you're in the right place. Thank you for being here. Let's get into today's episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Holmes on Health. Today's episode is going to be a bit different than what we've been doing the last few weeks. Today is going to be a little less scientific, a little less medical, but no less important. I want to start with a question that may make you a little uncomfortable, maybe even make you a little bit angry. Here it is. How many times have you started something with incredible enthusiasm, only to watch it fizzle out within weeks or maybe days? Maybe it was that gym membership that you bought in January, that language learning app that you downloaded. Maybe it was the morning routine that you swore would change your life. You start setting your alarm at 5 a.m. First 3 days it goes off, your feet instantly hit the floor. But by day 4, the only thing that's getting hit is the snooze button over and over again. We've all been there. Today, I want to talk about why this happens, and more importantly, how to break this cycle once and for all. Today's episode is about choosing consistency over perfection. It's about understanding your deeper why and setting goals that actually stick. Because here's the truth. Transformation doesn't happen in all-out one-offs. It happens in small, incremental actions done consistently over time. Let me give you an example. And when you hear this, you know logically this is true. The person who exercises 20 minutes every day will always beat the gym hero who only shows up once a month for an epic 2-hour session in the gym. Always. Your body doesn't care about your perfect Monday. It doesn't remember that incredible workout where you felt like a champion and those 3 days last winter where you cut out all the processed foods and hit your protein goal. What it cares about, what it responds to, is what you do repeatedly and consistently over time. Everything that matters follows this truth. Our careers, our relationships, our personal growth, as well as our health. Here's what happens with small, consistent actions. First, they become automatic to the point where they become who you are. You stop being someone who's trying to get fit, and you become a fit person. You stop being someone who's working on a project, and you become someone who completes projects. And then that consistency leads to automaticity, and that begins to compound. Meanwhile, people that are not consistent, well, they're constantly stopping and starting, all those weekend warriors, they're stuck in this exhausting cycle of starting strong and then burning out, recovering and then starting over. They're always beginning. They're never building. They're never compounding. They're stuck in a mentality of having to be on the perfect diet and have the perfect workout plan and have the perfect routine. But we all know perfect isn't sustainable. Perfect, as they say, is the enemy of good. But good, done consistently, that's transformational. So I want you to aim for good, done consistently. Now you may ask, I would ask, how do I do that? I struggle with the consistency part. How do I stay consistent? The answer, it's find your why. Your why, my why, is everything. It's the difference between giving up when things get hard and pushing through when others would probably quit. It's the difference between being random and inconsistent and being locked in and automatic. Most people think their why, or they think about their why, just on a surface level. I want to lose weight. I want to make more money. I want to be successful. But those aren't whys. Those are just wants. Your real why needs to go much deeper than that. Why do you want to lose weight? Maybe it's because you want to have energy to play with your kids without getting winded. Maybe it's because you watched a grandparent struggle with health issues and you refuse to be that person that puts that kind of stress on your family. Maybe it's because you know that when you feel strong in your body, you're capable of anything. I'll tell you a story. It's about my dad. Many years ago, he found himself about 40 pounds overweight. He was a long-range truck driver. Not always easy to find the best food when you're on the road. Not always easy to find time to exercise when you're constantly behind the wheel. So he developed high blood pressure, and his primary care physician had him on 2 medications for that. Then he went in for a checkup, and he was told that he was a borderline diabetic and he needed to go on medication for that. He calls me when he gets home from his doctor's appointment, and he says, I am not going on any diabetic medication, and I'm certainly not taking those insulin shots. He was emphatic. He said, I had to give my mom those shots for years, and I'm not doing it. So tell me what I need to do to fix this. So he had a very strong why. With that, we put a plan together. We adjusted his diet. He started finding some time to exercise. He checked his blood sugar every single morning to track his progress, and he was very consistent. A year later, he's down 40 pounds. His fasting blood sugar is in the 80s, and he's no longer on 2 blood pressure medications, but a very small dose of 1 blood pressure medication. His strong why led to consistent action, which led to the results he was after. Here's the deal. Your why has to be bigger than your excuses. It has to be more powerful than your comfort zone. It has to be something that, when it's whispered in the dark moments of doubt, it lights a fire in your chest instead of making you scared. I had a patient once that came to me wanting to lose weight. She needed to lose a lot of weight. She tried multiple diets over the years, and they always failed because everyone else in her house didn't care about their health, and they ate whatever they wanted. So, as we were talking, I asked her, what do you think is going to be different this time? And she said, with great conviction, I keep watching my mom's health decline. She can barely even walk across the room now because of her weight. She's totally inactive. She went on to say, I have a granddaughter, and she's sick. She's got some health problems. I have to be there for her. I will be there for her. To date, she's down over 50 pounds. She's helping taking care of her granddaughter, and she's training for her first 5K. Her strong why led to consistent action, which led to the results that she desired. Our why just isn't motivation. It's actually like our North Star. When you're lost, confused, doubting, ready to quit, it points you home. It points you to the results that you said you wanted. Your why can keep you going. But knowing your why, that's not everything. It's not enough. We have to also know where we're going. We have to have goals and targets. They're critical. You can't ever hit a target you can't see. You'll never arrive at a destination that you haven't defined. Google Maps, an amazing technology. Or maybe you use Apple or Waze. But these are all utterly useless until you put in a destination, which requires that you know your desired destination. Most of us just walk around aimlessly through life, visions blurred, wondering why we're not getting anywhere. We have vague wishes instead of clear goals. I want to be healthier. I want to be successful. I want to be happier. Vague goals lead to poor results. We have to be more specific. Instead of, I want to be healthier, try something like, I am going to walk 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, for the next 3 months, and remove soda and processed carbs from my diet. Instead of, I want to be strong, try something like, I am going to strength train 3 days a week with the guidance of an expert and hit my protein goal of 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. Do you see the difference? One gives you something to aim for and to measure. The other leaves you just shooting in the dark. Here's the balance that you need to strike. Your goals that you set, they should be exciting. They should be big. Should be enough to move you forward continually. But at the same time, they need to be realistic enough that you're not setting yourself up for failure. Your goals should stretch you, but they should be achievable with focused effort. If you're currently walking no minutes a day, don't set a goal of running a marathon next month. That's not going to happen. That's not ambition. That's self-habit. So start with a 10-minute walk, and then a 20-minute walk. And then maybe you're jogging for a couple minutes during the walk. And then maybe you're jogging for 5 minutes. If your goal is to lose 40 pounds, Your goal is to improve your percent body fat by 10%. That's awesome. But don't set a deadline for 30 days from now. Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say, and neither will be your transformation. The beautiful thing about this approach is this. Every small win, every 10-minute walk, builds confidence. Every time you achieve one of your small goals, it proves to yourself that you're someone that follows through. Every step forward that you make creates momentum. It sounds cliche, but it really is about the journey, not just the destination. Remember the tortoise and the hare? Slow and steady. It doesn't just win the race. It allows you to enjoy the journey. It builds an unshakable foundation. It creates lasting change instead of temporary spurts that ultimately get you nowhere. Let me paint you a picture of what consistency really looks like over time. Day 1, you do your 10-minute habit. Nothing dramatic happens. You feel exactly the same next day. Day 7, you're still feeling the same. Nothing's changed. But you've kept your promise to yourself 7 times. Now, that means something. Day 30, something shifts. You notice you're actually looking forward to it now. It's becoming a part of who you are. Day 90, people outside, your friends, your family, they start noticing the changes in you. You have more energy, more confidence. You're carrying yourself different. Somehow, you're different. Day 365. You look back and you don't recognize the person you were a year ago. This habit has rippled into every area of your life. You become someone who follows through, and that identity transformed everything. This is the compound effect. Small actions repeated consistently create exponential results over time. Most people give up somewhere between day 7 and day 30. They're looking for immediate results, instant gratification, and they're not willing to wait, be patient, be consistent, and get the delayed gratification. Don't be most people. Real transformation requires patience. It requires faith. It requires showing up even when, especially when, you don't feel like it. It doesn't require perfection. I'll say it again. Perfect is the enemy of good. But good, done consistently, is transformational. So here's what I want you to do. Before we finish even listening to this podcast, get crystal clear on your why. Not the surface reason, but the deep, emotional, unshakable reason that makes your transformation non-negotiable. Second, pick one specific goal. Make it very clear, make it measurable, and be sure that it's achievable. And write that down. Third, break the goal down into small, possible daily actions. Something you can commit to for even just 10 minutes a day. And you can do it today, and you can do it tomorrow, and you can do it the day after. Fourth, track it. Put a check mark on the calendar. Maybe you're using an app that you can track with. Tell someone, and this one's important, tell someone who will hold you accountable. One more time, I'll tell you. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's not required. However, it does require showing up, because this starts building a habit, and then you build on that habit, and now you're compounding. I encourage you, play the long game. Trust me, it's going to be worth it. I'll share one last exercise with you. I want you to take out 3 sheets of paper. On the first sheet of paper, I want you to write down everything that's going to happen or not happen if you don't make the change that you're committed to make. That if you don't lose the weight, that if you don't get your blood sugar under control, if you don't start strength training and trying to become stronger. Write down everything that's going to happen or not happen if you don't achieve that. Maybe it's that you're not going to get to walk your daughter down the aisle. Maybe it's that you're not going to be able to play with your grandkids or get in the floor and be able to get back out of the floor. When you make this list, and I call this list the hell, you want to make it very real and you want to make it hit home. Maybe it makes you tear up. Maybe it makes you angry. You know you're getting somewhere if it evokes emotion. Maybe that emotion is even fear. Take time. Don't rush it. Make that list. Then, on the second piece of paper, I want you to make a list of everything that will happen if you do achieve your goal, if you do lose the weight, if you do get stronger, if you do get healthier. We call this list the heaven. It's going to be I'm going to dance with my daughter at my wedding. Maybe it's one of those special father-daughter dances to music. It's choreographed. I'm going to get to take my grandson fishing. Then I'm going to get to teach my granddaughter how to dance or how to sew or how to play volleyball or how to play tennis. Make the list exciting, moving, motivating. That's your heaven. Then on the third piece of paper, I want you to do this. Take the first two lists, take your hell, take your heaven, and write it into a mission statement. I will clean up my diet, eat healthier, exercise consistently. Very specific, all the things that you're going to do so that I don't have to be in a wheelchair, so that I'm not going to end up in the hospital, so that I don't miss my daughter's wedding. And I get to experience XYZ with your grandkids or climb Machu Picchu or whatever it is that is your heaven. And that's your mission statement. Then take that mission statement, put it on the dashboard of your car, put it on your bathroom mirror, and give it to a couple of people that you trust to speak into your life. Because we're all going to slip up. We're all going to make mistakes because perfection isn't required or possible. But those people can then say, hey, remember when you said you were going to do this so that that thing didn't happen? So you're going to be able to take that hike that you've always wanted to take? Looks like you're a little bit off course. Let's get back to it. Let's get back to the consistency. Let's get back to building those habits. Your hell, your heaven, your mission statement, bring in some people that help hold you accountable. This can change your life. We're not just building habits. We're not just trying to reach a goal, however important that goal may be. We're trying to build the person that we want to become. And every day that you show up, you're voting for the identity that you want to claim. You're showing up to become the person you really want to be for yourself, for your family, for your community, for your church, for the world. Consistency over perfection, progress over perfection, patience over perfection. The person you want to be is waiting on the other side of your daily decisions. Go become that person. And until next time, live life optimized. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Holmes on Health. If you found today's episode valuable, share it with someone you care about. And hit subscribe so you never miss a future episode. Want to get more of our content? Follow me on Instagram and YouTube at Alan J. Holmes MD. Until next time, here's to living life optimized. This podcast is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute the practice of medicine or other professional healthcare services, including the giving of medical advice, and no doctor-patient relationship is formed. The use of information on this podcast or materials linked from this podcast is at the user's own risk. The content of this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Users should not disregard or delay in obtaining medical advice for any medical condition they may have, and should seek the assistance of their healthcare professionals for any such conditions.